Alrighty, so I'm going to show you a quick demonstration of how to do 1-point perspective. So you're going to have a piece of paper like this, create some squares and rectangles around a centered dot. And the goal here is we want these squares and rectangles to look as if they are jumping out from that center dot or going back to that center dot, depends on how you want to look at it. Anyway, so I like to start with the one closest to the dot, so I'm going to look around, and for me, this one looks closest. So I am going to focus on these two corners here, and I'm going to make straight lines that go directly to that dot. Now, if you need to use a ruler, that might be very helpful for you. So you can just lay the ruler down and make lovely, beautiful, straight lines. Okay, so right now this kind of just looks like a house, right? A rectangle with a triangle. But when we shift our gaze, it does appear as if this is the top of this box now, and it is coming out of this center dot. Now, I don't want to touch these bottom corners, because if I do, then the line, it's like a see-through box now, and we don't want these to be see-through boxes. We want them to be solid. So I'm just going to ignore these two corners, and this is all I need to do for this one. All right, so the next one, I'm going to go to this little guy, and I'm going to make straight lines that hit the dot. They have to hit the dot. Do not make lines that go like that. That's not going to the dot. It has to go to the dot. All lines lead to your dot, your 1 point, right? That's why it's called 1-point perspective. Okay, so same thing with this one over here. If I were to draw a line on these corners, it would go directly through my shape. I don't want it to go through my shape. So now I'll move to this one, towards my point. Okay, same idea. So now if you shift your gaze, you can kind of tell these almost look like they're coming out of the point. They're starting to almost look like you're a bird flying above some buildings. Okay, so now we're going to focus on the ones around the edge of my dry erase board here. So these are, it's the same idea, except if you run into one of these shapes and their lines, you're going to have to like stop. So you don't want to go through, draw a line through. So these, a ruler might be helpful for you, so you can really just set the ruler on the dot and go right to your corner. Okay, so for this one here, I'm going to do these two corners. They go to the point. Now this one, I need to get this corner in there too, because this just doesn't look right. So if this is a cube, a big long cube, then it's going to have a side and a top. And because I can draw the line to the point, it's not going through my shape. I'm going to try it. Now, it's not going to go all the way to the point because this square is in the way. So it's only going to go until I meet the square, but it still appears as if it would go all the way to the point if I could let it go all the way to the point. All right, so now this one is good to go. So I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to focus on these two corners first. Make sure I can get them to my dot. And then this one is going to be really tight, like that. All right, now we go up to the top, so this one can hit the dot, easy peasy. This one can hit the dot, easy peasy. And I think this one will be able to. And the reason I'm not doing this corner, again, is because then I'd have to draw through the shape, and I don't want to draw through the shape. And here we go on this one. Okay. So now it appears three-dimensional. It looks like they're jetting out from the center point, like your little birdie flying above big, tall skyscrapers. You can imagine like these might be windows all the way down. Maybe there's like a swimming pool up top here, right? Okay, so that is the basics for 1-point perspective, very beginning drawing exercise.